Hi, I'm Bob. Welcome back to 5 Minute Econometrics, a program that focuses on basic econometric concepts and estimation approaches. Today, we will continue to explore the interaction terms in linear regression models. We have discussed how the interaction terms help capture the non-constant marginal effects in Part 1. In Part 2, we will investigate how the interaction terms relate to the difference in differences effects. The difference in differences method is often used in policy evaluation. The elements of the difference in differences method are two binary variables, one indicating the treatment group and the control group, and the other describing the time before or after the policy. The interaction term between the two binary variables captures the causal effects of the policy. Let me use an example in Jeffrey Woodridge's textbook, Introductory Econometrics, a modern approach, the 7th edition, to illustrate how an interaction term captures the difference in differences effects. In 1980, Kentucky passed a law that made it less costly for injured high-income workers to stay on workers' compensation, but did not influence injured low-income workers. The binary variable treatment equals 1 for high-income workers and 0 for low-income workers. Another binary variable, after, equals 1 after the law was enforced and 0 before the law was implemented. A simple regression model includes both binary variables and their interaction term as the explanatory variables. The outcome variable is the length of time that an injured worker received workers' compensation. The treatment here is the law implementation, and the treatment group is the high-income workers because their choices were affected by the law. The control group is the low-income workers because the law did not impact them. The table shows the outcome variable in 4 different situations by substituting the values of 0 and 1 into the model. We can read the table by rows. The second row is for the control group, the low-income workers. Before the law was enforced, their length of time on compensation equals beta 0. It equals beta 0 plus beta 2 after the law was implemented. The change in the outcome variables for the control group is beta 2. It captures the trend of change without treatment. The third row is for the treatment group, the high-income workers. Their length of time on compensation is beta 0 plus beta 1 before the law and beta 0 plus beta 1 plus beta 2 plus beta 3 after the law. The change in the outcome variable before and after the law equals beta 2 plus beta 3. The difference in differences is beta 3, which is the change in the outcome due to the law. This is because we have taken into account the trend of change without the treatment, under the assumption that both groups of workers exhibit a similar trend without the treatment. Thus, the coefficient of the interaction term captures the causal effect of the law. Similarly, we can also read the table by columns. The second column represents the time before the law was enforced. the length of time on compensation for the control group of low-income workers equals beta 0. It equals beta 0 plus beta 1 for the treatment group of high-income workers. The difference between the two groups equals beta 1. It is the difference between them before the treatment occurs. The third column represents the time after the law was implemented. The outcome equals beta 0 plus beta 2 for the control group of low-income workers, and equals beta 0 plus beta 1 plus beta 2 plus beta 3 for the treatment group of high-income workers. The difference between the two groups equals beta 1 plus beta 3. It is the difference between them after the law took effect. The difference in differences is beta 3, which is also the causal effect of the law. In Stata, we regress the log of the length of compensation time on the two binary variables and the interaction term for the workers in Kentucky. The OLS estimate for the interaction term is 0.191, meaning that the law increases the length of time on compensation by about 19%. It is statistically significant at the 1% level. Notice that the coefficient of the variable after is the change in the outcome variable for the control group, the low-income workers, before and after the law. Low-income workers were not affected by the law, but their length of time on compensation has an upward trend. The difference in difference method considers this trend and assumes that the treatment group has the same trend. We can visualize the difference in differences effects in a graph. There was an upward trend in the length of time on compensation for the low-income workers over time. We assume a parallel trend for the high-income workers. After removing the trend, we obtain the pure effects of the policy. Since the parallel trend assumption is demanding, we can add control variables to the model. The control variables account for the differences in the observable characteristics between the two groups. We hope that after parceling out the effects of those control variables, the residual outcomes satisfy the parallel trend assumption. We re-estimate the model, adding male, married, and a full set of industry and intra-type dummy variables as additional controls. The effect of the law becomes slightly larger after controlling for those factors, from 0.19 to 0.23. The effect is still statistically significant at the 1% level. Today, we have examined the interaction term between two binary variables. It captures the difference in differences effects of a policy or law. I hope it helps. See you soon. Take care. Thank you for watching this video and subscribing to my YouTube channel. See you next time.